Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw.
Welcome back to episode 3. This one's going to be a little different. I have a different strategy for you guys, and let me know what you really think about it. You won't see it until I tell you about the second card. So, without further ado, I'm your host, Commander Claw. Thank you for watching, and make sure you comment below on any other cards that you suggest for Sami Wildcat Captain. So look, we want more artifacts on the battlefield. Artifacts can be very powerful creatures if there's a bunch of artifact synergies on the battlefield. So let's talk about Karn, Scion of Urza. He's colorless, so if you have Sami on the battlefield, we can pretty much cast him for zero, nada, zilch. Legendary Planeswalker, Karn, comes with 5 loyalty counters. +1. Reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses one of them, put that card into your hand, and exile the other with a silver counter on it. Okay, cool, not bad. -1. Put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. So we're manipulating our hand, manipulating our library in a way, but we're just doing exchange. But this is where really card shines. For -2, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Okay, so you can make lots of powerful creatures. Don't forget treasure tokens. I'm always going to reference treasure tokens in boros colors, and they count as artifacts. So when you create these constructs, they come in +1/+1 for each artifact on the battlefield. So I was thinking, maybe you don't want to attack with your commander like boros generically, right? So why not blink and burn your commander? You can build your deck just around that. Terror of the Peaks, classic card. Warstorm Surge, classic card that do the same thing. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So you could base your deck around cards like this and flicker your commander or have creatures that get +1/+1 for each artifact on the battlefield. You like how I set you up for that one? You see where I'm going with this? And if you can just animate, robots animates, the whole process, you could really take out opponents pretty quickly. So let's talk about flicker cards. So we're going to talk about the classic Ephemerate for 1 white mana. It's an instant. Exile target creature control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. It has rebound, so pretty much the next upkeep that you have, you get to cast this card again for free. What I really want to share is the other spells that you have that are flicker, and you have Sami on the battlefield. Remember, you have Affinity for artifacts. So essentially, all your other flicker spells could cost the same mana as Ephemerate. And so you could blink your creatures or commander or creature several times if they all have affinity for artifacts. Nasty. Now, this is my favorite flicker spell and is a very budget friendly card. It's less than 39 cents. I just saw it. Let's talk about another round. It costs double X, 2 generic, and a white. Okay, it is a sorcery. Exile any number of creatures you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Then repeat this process X more times. So if you have 4 artifacts, you pay 1 mana to do this 1 time. If you have 6 artifacts, you get to do this process 2 times. So you need to start off with 4 mana, then increments of 2 to do it multiple times. That's how nasty this card is. It gets nastier because it's any number of creatures. So if you have Terror of the Peaks, and let's say you have 3 other creatures that are all 5/5s, you can do this process any amount of times, and those 3 creatures enter the battlefield that many times. Yeah. Hit that like button. I know you like this. So let's take advantage of all the artifacts we have on the battlefield. We got to burn players. We got to take them out. We can't give them opportunities to play other cards. This is Generous Plunderer for 1 in a red, 2/2 body, creature, human, rogue. It's got menace. Then says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a treasure token. When you do, target opponent creates a tapped treasure token. Whenever Generous Plunderer attacks, it deals damage to defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control. So, yeah, you're giving them a tapped treasure token. That means they can't use it until their turn. You are receiving a untapped treasure token. So at the beginning of upkeep, you get to use that treasure token. However, this is just a good token generator to keep you on pace for affinity for artifacts. And he does have menace, not bad. So thank you for making this far in the video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment on any other cards that you recommend in this Blink theme that I suggested. Okay. Otherwise, click the video for episode 4. Got more cards for you.